Am I the a-hole for refusing to take my stepdaughter with me on vacation? When I met my husband, he had 3 kids. They were 6 female, 5 male and 3 female, and I also had a 4-year-old girl. We got married 2 years later. I had another girl 5 years later. At first the kids were at their mom's on weekdays and with us on weekends. His 2 older kids adored me while the youngest, Robin, was colder to me. It wasn't so bad then. A year into our marriage, their mother told my husband that she couldn't raise them on her own. Either he went back to her or raised them himself. Their mother would only try to spend time with them a couple of days in a month. Robin started treating me worse as the years went on. She would get extremely hostile towards me, especially right after spending time with her mom. It was clear to all of us that her mom was trying to make the kids hate me. It didn't work with oldest kids, who quickly started calling me mom on their own. I've grown to love them like I love my bio kids. I once referred to all of them as my kids to someone, and Robin got so upset and said, "I'm not her kid." She was always distant but polite with my older bio daughter. Sometimes she would be playing with the baby until I came into the room, and then she'd stop and start complaining, saying things like, "Get your annoying daughter away from me." I would get her gifts and she would thank her father because it's his money, disregarding the fact that I picked out the gift. She would always complain about my cooking and refuse to eat sometimes. Everyone loves my food, so it's clear she is just being mean. When spending time as a family, she would be very rude to only me and just ignore me on a good day. Recently, my family and I all plan to spend a month abroad this summer. My husband isn't coming because of work. I'm planning to take the kids with me except for Robin. When I first mentioned this to my husband, he agreed. Neither of us even thought she would want to go with me without her father. I went to visit my family with the kids a few times before while she stayed with her aunt. Robin's mother died 2 years ago. When she found out, she was angry and says that she deserves to go. My husband begged me to take her, but I refused. I want to relax and enjoy life with my kids and family who love me. I feel like I deserve it. Taking her without her father being there means I have to keep an eye on her on my own and deal with her not listening to me and being rude. My husband said she told him she will be on her best behavior. I said I don't trust her. He even told me that he would send her aunt and cousins with us, so that she could watch her there. I refused because this is a family vacation and I don't want a strange family tagging along. Plus, he could just send them all on a separate vacation away from me. He refused because she wants to be with her siblings. I really need objective opinions on this. Am I being an a-hole by refusing to let her go with me? Edit. Robin is 14 now.
Not the a-hole. My husband said she told him she will be on her best behavior. The fact that she told him and not you proves it will be exactly how you imagine.
Robin has gotten away with treating you like garbage. Don't let her get away with convincing everyone of a lie just to be rewarded with a trip she doesn't deserve and will absolutely ruin. Better to have Robin be angry and resentful over something she can learn from than what she would normally be angry over.
I feel like she's a kid. You could try a heart-to-heart with her and/or therapy. You have to know that her mother had to have convinced her that it was your fault she couldn't stay with her mom. It sounds to me like Robin is angry and resentful. Her mom is dead. She barely saw her after her mom pulled the nonsense of not being able to care for her kids herself. Have you tried therapy? This could, if you set it up right, be a trip that changes your relationship. I would say that it's really unhealthy for everyone that this is just allowed to continue.
I've always known she is angry and resentful. She went to therapy a few times but refused to continue. Her father doesn't want to pressure her anymore about it. I've tried talking to her so many ways over the years. I even cried on multiple occasions and begged her to be nice to me. I've basically raised her since her father works so much, but she just hates me. We've been on vacations before and she really dampened my mood even with her father with us. A lot of the times when her rudeness towards me gets out of hand and I keep quiet, her siblings start fighting with her over it. She makes spending time with each other so tense. I can't even imagine how bad it will get without her dad there for a whole month.
It seems to me that you need to have an actions have consequences talk with Robin and clearly explain that the reason why she can't come with you is because of her behavior. If she starts acting more respectful, then she can come next year. Be clear that you're not demanding her love, but the price of a cool trip to Europe is a year of respect and common courtesy.
Not the a-hole. Your husband should have dealt with her attitude. Not the a-hole. The stepdaughter's actions have finally met consequences.
Am I the a-hole for saying my stepsister can go to hell? My paternal grandparents are taking me, my best friend, and my stepcousins to a really cool amusement park to celebrate my 17th birthday in a few weeks. My grandparents have grandparents' rights to see me since my dad died because they and my mom don't get along and she wanted them out of my life. This caused a lot of trouble because my stepsister, 13, wants to come. I hate my stepsister and don't want her there. I have no love or affection or like for her. I don't care if she's upset that she's being left out and doesn't get the experience. I can't stand her. I can't wait to move out and never see her again, and yeah, if that means not seeing my mom again, I really can't find it in myself to care. For people who ask why. So I was 7 when my mom married her husband. Her husband shared custody of his kid with his ex. My mom's husband and his ex were on really bad terms and shit hit the fan when he married my mom and his ex used their kid as a weapon. She made it shitty to be around her. She would act out whenever we were all together or she was with mom and me. She'd tell people my mom kidnapped her. She would call me slurs she heard her mom using because of the stutter I have. She threw a photo of my dad in the fire once and told me she wouldn't have done it if my mom wasn't a whore. This stuff started when she was 4, so a year into the marriage, and escalated to those points above over the years until she was 8. When she was only 4, she would just cry a lot and try to run away when my mom had her. My mom's husband was in and out of court with his ex and trying to win custody, had the courts put her in therapy and stuff. I begged mom to leave and give us an easier life. She told me we couldn't leave, we're family, it would be worth it in the end. My stepsister coming to live here full-time did not magically make her better. They had to bring her to another city for therapy because she went through 20 different in our city and wouldn't talk. She also wouldn't talk to the first 2 or 3 in the city closest either. 4th time was what it took and she started talking to them. Throughout our time at home, it was hell on earth and I had to get rid of everything of my dad's because she threatened to destroy everything. This included photos. She was extra awful to my mom and to me when we were stuck at home. It was only 6 or 7 months ago she started to change and her behavior improved. Now she wants us to be a family and expects me to be her sister. But that isn't happening. She found out through her aunt, stepcousin's mom, about my stepcousins being invited and she wants to come. She, her dad, and my mom asked me to let her come. My mom and her husband asked me privately too and said she would hate being left out and to think of her feelings. This is when I said she can go to hell and she's not my problem. They told me it's so cruel to talk about my family that way. Am I the a-hole?
Totally 100 not the a-hole. Throughout our time at home it was hell on earth and I had to get rid of everything of my dad's because she threatened to destroy everything. This included photos. That sums up what an a-hole she is. Name-calling your mom and putting you through all she did doesn't suddenly get her a free pass. Doesn't sound like she thought about your feelings during those years, so I get why you don't give a rat's but about hers now. I hope she doesn't get in the way of your relationship with your mom long term. All the best to you.
My mom is largely responsible for the poor state of our relationship. She put the marriage her stepdaughter first and that would sting, but my grandparents had to go to court to see me because my mom didn't like them. So it just shows how little she is willing to put me first. But I'm supposed to be happy because her stepkid came around eventually and act like everything is fine.
That's not okay. Denying kids contact with people who love them and vice versa never is. Shows me a lot about who your mom is. Kudos to you for believing her, tough as that must have been. Do what's right for you. It's not fine or even close. People will come into your life who'll treat you right. You're going to hit adulthood soon. All the very best to you.
Not the a-hole, anyone would feel like you after what you've been through. And it's your birthday, you get to pick who comes. But it does sound like your stepsister is trying to be better, maybe tell your parents that you appreciate that. But you still need some time before you're ready to hang out with her again.
I don't want to spend time with her. I'm not looking to repair things and act like a family. This has never been a family for me. It was always just drama, fearing for my stuff, having to deal with the stress of police, court, destruction, and I never ever grew to care for her. I know that will probably cost me my mom, but this shit was not fun to grow up in, and just because she's doing better now doesn't mean I'm glad we went through all this or it was worth it. My step cousins are the only real positive I got out of this, and we would have met and probably become friends even without this.
Nope, don't let her come. That's your family and your celebration. She does not get to force herself into the plans. I hope you have the best time ever.
Not the a-hole. And tell them that it's a bit rich of them to complain about you being cruel by not wanting to socialize with her now when she was viciously, deliberately cruel to you for years, and they forced you to endure it because mom valued her relationship with your stepdad over your safety and well-being.
What do you think of these stories? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories.